Seminar number 7, Navigating the IRB. Altruism and trust lie at the heart of research on human subjects. This is an official statement from the International Committee of Medical Journal Editors, a consortium of editors for the most respected and most widely read biomedical journals. Sometimes we forget improving the human condition is the ultimate goal of all of our study efforts. The IRB is there to remind us of that. The IRB is the Institutional Review Board, a committee formally designated to approve, monitor, and review biomedical and behavioral research involving humans in order to protect the rights and welfare of research subjects. Any institution where a study is done is required to have an IRB committee. Depending on the institution, this committee can be large or small, complex, or fairly simply structured. No matter how your local IRB committee is organized, if you have contact with research subjects, consenting, interviewing, providing interventions, or any contact with their identifiable data, you need to be certified by your institution's IRB before initiating or participating in any study. So get IRB certified now. The IRB's mandate comes from the Belmont Report, a report that was issued at the Belmont Conference Center by a committee that issued a report titled Ethical Principles and Guidelines for the Protection of Human Subjects of Research. This committee was charged with developing a report, and the purpose of that report was to ensure that all scientific studies demonstrate respect for persons, beneficence, and justice. This report is a fascinating read, and the link is available on the toolbox page of this program. It is important to understand the definition of each of these Belmont requirements: respect for persons, beneficence, and justice. As an investigator, you probably would not agree to be a subject in someone else's study unless these criteria were followed. It is especially important to understand these requirements because anytime an investigator submits an IRB proposal to carry out a study, that investigator essentially attests, "We believe the risks, if any, are outweighed by the possible benefits to the subject and the importance of knowledge to be gained, and warrant the IRB's decision to approve these risks." This is an excerpt from an IRB application. Sometimes investigators are surprised when a proposal is denied by the IRB. Common reasons for denial include the benefit to risk is not made explicit enough in the application demonstrates informed consent problems, privacy and confidentiality are not adequately addressed, subject selection does not seem equitable, research and clinical care are not clearly distinguished, the investigator does not have an adequate study design, or there are other administrative and application lapses like missing signatures or entire sections of the IRB are not completed. Remember, the IRB's main purpose is to protect subjects. Sometimes investigators are frustrated by redundancies in the IRB application, but those redundancies are there to ensure the study is fair and just and does not exploit subjects for the benefit of science or for someone's professional career. In a terrific paper also available in the toolbox, Weinberg and Kleinman write, "We recommend that investigators learning methods of human research should specifically examine the ethical implications of a poorly designed study." It is really important to take the IRB seriously and take the application seriously. The IRB application is required for submission to a medical journal because medical journals now require an IRB statement. Most meetings now also ask during the abstract submission process if IRB approval was obtained. Some funding agencies request IRB oversight up front. The IRB application helps you organize your study, and it makes the manuscript at the end of the study much easier because a lot of the language that goes into the IRB application should end up in the final manuscript. And the IRB staff can help you identify critical study weaknesses because the IRB provides an outside opinion of the study itself. So remember, the hurdles in the IRB application process are not there to prevent you from doing your study. They are there to protect subjects and make your study better. HIPAA deserves a brief comment here. IRB applications are designed to ensure that anonymity and confidentiality are protected. So the correct HIPAA form needs to be completed for your study proposal when you make a submission to the IRB. Different institutions interpret HIPAA slightly differently, so call your IRB office if it is not clear which HIPAA form you need to complete. There are 3 basic HIPAA forms: authorization, waiver, and exempt. Just call your IRB office to find out which one is required. So in summary, get IRB certified now. Become friendly with your IRB staff. You can even get to know them on a first-name basis because they will be very helpful to you. Make sure you review IRB forms before planning your study. Don't take application shortcuts. And many sections can actually be templated for future use because these questions are asked over and over. And if you carry out several studies in the same institution, many of those IRB sections can actually be copied and pasted into future applications. In the next seminar, we'll talk about the case control study.